Strauss from Activa. Welcome back, Sally.
How wonderful to be here. I'm delighted, Joyce, and today we're going to have a nature walk. We're going into the woods, into our gardens, and we're going to gather delicate flowers that really do not adapt themselves to silica gel drying or the systemic method.
Well, come on, let's go with Sally and find out how we do all this. What are the tools?
The tools are a flower press. And this is a nice size and weight flower press that you can carry with you on a nature walk, because your most delicate flowers, you'll find that they will be wilted by the time you get them back if you gather them and then wait to press. So carry the press along.
It could go in a knapsack or a backpack or anything like that.
It certainly could. And then as you find some treasure, you press it right on the spot. And a flower press really consists of wing nuts, bolts, washers, 2 pieces of wood, and corrugated cardboard. Now, the reason you use corrugated cardboard is to allow for ventilation. When the flowers are drying, the air can flow through, and it keeps your flowers from molding until they're pressed.
Now, can you dry right on the cardboard? Or?
No, you use parchment paper.
Oh, is this a special paper?
Yes, this is a nice acid-free paper, and you place your flowers on one side, cover it with another, and you would load the press this way.
It's just many layers.
Yes,
then,
it's many layers of corrugated and parchment paper. And then...
I'd help you, but I think you've got that so well balanced.
We'll get this on here.
Here, I'll hold this so
there, that's right. That's the tricky part.
Okay.
Now, we just put on the washers. And you know the flowers, when they're fresh, there's a lot of moisture there, so they're kind of fat.
Oh, I see.
But as they dry, they're going to...
Oh, you're a real expert at this. You've got 2 on and I haven't even started.
They're going to get thinner. Oh, there are little tricks that you can do with your thumb, like flipping it. But you want to tighten the wing nuts very, very tight, because you want even pressure. And as they dry, they shrink. So you must really test the wing nuts about every 2 to 3 days.
I see.
And tighten them again, because you want to keep even, constant pressure. And you should keep them in the press a minimum 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time.
Because you want them to be nice and soft. You do not want them to be heavy and give. They must stand upright.
I see.
And so it's a very simple thing. The virtue, I guess you would say, of this method of flower drying is patience. It teaches you patience, because this really cannot be hurried along.
Now, I know you mentioned acid-free paper. What's the... why should we use acid-free paper?
Well, it just keeps colors more brilliant, and it keeps things from deteriorating.
I see. Well, it's nice that the press has the cardboard and the acid-free paper, so we're ready to go.
We're ready to go. And now, I think, now that you understand how the press works, here are examples of flowers that have been pressed. But what does one then do with them? You don't leave them in the book. Some people try to press in books. In fact, I laugh and say the New York City telephone directory doesn't have even pressure like these wing nuts do. So it really is best. You get the best results using a conventional press. But how does one display these flowers? There is a little box over there that shows a little shaker box that some have been glued on to enhance the decor.
Do you put a finish on that after you glue them on a box like that?
Yes, you can. You can put an acrylic finish on it.
So it's like a spray?
Yes, a spray. Okay. I would recommend a spray, because they're very delicate.
Now, you do want to take care when you do use the pressed flowers. It's the same as all the other types of dried flowers. They don't need to be in the sun.
That's right. You should keep them from direct sunlight.
Okay.
And another way that we used it, we took a styrofoam egg, and the little areas that look like ribbon or feathers are really pressed red clover.
Well, that's pressed red clover. That's
yes.
unusual.
And I've done that, and then the little pressed roses, tiny little roses. I think they really are from a pole scarlet hawthorn tree. And then rose petals. And that is just another interesting way to do pressed flowers. Here is another, this is a three-dimensional.
Oh my.
Most people do not think, when they think of pressed flowers, they think one-dimensionally. But here we have taken a piece of mat board, and then on a nature walk in the woods, if you look very carefully, you can find these wonderful skeletonized leaves that nature does for you. You have nothing to do but take them home and put them in the press.
My goodness.
They're almost like spider webs, but they make a beautiful surface to build a picture on. And in this we've used pressed leaves, and we've used fern, and we've used some Judas, and also moss, and there are a couple little of my favorite lichen tucked in there.
So if you were going to do a picture like that, you'd take your little nature walk, gather up your leaves that you're going to press, and probably gather some other things in your bag along with it that were in the forest.
That are there, and then when you go home, think landscape. Think what you saw. Think your garden. Think how things grow.
That's very good. I love the colors. I think they're just very pretty. They all sort of are pastel-y and go together very nicely.
Yes, they do. Now, I thought it would be fun today. One of my favorite ways to use pressed flowers, and this is a neat trick if you've done a bridal shower or want to save some special flowers, is to put them on a candle.
All right, let's see how that works.
So what we're going to do is we take a little white craft glue.
I know I've seen candles, you know, in some of the gift stores and things like that that have been done with pressed flowers. So this is a great opportunity to us find out exactly how something like that works.
You can use a toothpick or just something. Now you want to put just a little bit of glue because these are so delicate.
A tiny little bit of glue.
If you put too much, you're going to tear the flower and it's going to look too heavy.
Now what's this little flower that you're putting on?
That is a little Star of Bethlehem.
Really?
And we start up here.
Okay.
And with your glue, then you just attach it here.
These make wonderful gifts for weddings and wedding showers.
Yes, they
and
do.
Things like that.
And we're just going to build a little scene. So let's take some of our...
Now tell us what the flowers are.
This is purple Judas, and this actually is a tree.
Oh.
And these are the early spring blossoms from a tree.
So you can really pick just about anything that's a blossom, whether it's off a tree or a flower, a bush.
And sometimes your weeds actually do beautifully. Sometimes they make the best pictures.
Well, that's always fun if the family goes on an outing for everybody to come home with something, then create a picture together.
Can create a picture to remember the event.
Okay, well, it looks real easy, Sally.
It is very, very easy. And then when you get down to the base down here, of course you would want to fill with more here. But you want to make a little sort of an ending down here.
So you're just creating a little flower arrangement on this candle.
That's really all you're doing.
Very nice. Well, I can see where small flowers would really come in handy in a situation like this.
They most definitely do.
Little violets and forget-me-nots.
Forget-me-nots and violets and Johnny jump-ups and all those good little things.